In Nehemiah 2, Nehemiah asked the king of Persia to go and rebuild the city of Jerusalem. The story goes something like this. The king notices Nehemiah is sad and asks him why, and upon the king's asking, Nehemiah gets very afraid and says to the king, "Let the king live forever. Why should not my face be sad when the city, the place of my father's graves, lies in ruins and its gates have been destroyed by fire?" The king then asks Nehemiah what exactly he is requesting from the king. And in verse 4, Nehemiah says, "So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said to the king, if it pleases the king," and then he goes on to make his request to the king to rebuild the city of Jerusalem. Now, this is in the midst of a conversation between Nehemiah and the king. Nehemiah prays to God in the midst of this conversation. Since it's in the middle of the conversation, it's not as though Nehemiah had time to go pray for a few days, or as if there's an awkward 5-minute pause while Nehemiah is praying before he gets back to the king and speaks once again to the king. This prayer of Nehemiah would have been just a few seconds in the middle of the conversation and could have been something like, "Lord, help me, help this go well, your will be done," or something like this. Then in verse 8, the king grants Nehemiah's request, and Nehemiah says it was because the good hand of his God was upon him, seemingly saying that God answered the short prayer Nehemiah had prayed earlier in the conversation with the king. I love this example of the short yet dire and meaningful prayer. We too can implement such a style of prayer in our prayer lives. Short prayers in the middle of conversations might be something like, "Lord, help me. Lord, give me wisdom. Give me the words to say to this person. Give me strength," etc. Let this example of a short prayer from Nehemiah bless and influence your prayer life today.